All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Quadash. Salutations, peace unto shalom, and salutations to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well, and as well as to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire, the truth like wildfire. Because this truth is the truth. But yeah, spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Alright, I just want to go into this subject that basically the ultimate form. I'm going to this scripture right here. Isaiah 13 and 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto him shall fall by the sword. Joined unto who? Joined unto who? Babylon, right? Verse 19, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the childish excellency shall be as when the Most High Part Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. We know that never happened to ancient Babylon, but it's going to happen to Babylon the Great, which is also known as spiritual Sodom and Egypt, which is the U.S. So it's the good old USA. No, it is the U.S. And prophetically speaking, it's the U.S. So it is the U.S. And the ultimate. I'm going to that scripture goes into being a sellout, being KEWN sounded out, but the ultimate form of that. What is the ultimate form of that? The ultimate form of that is taking the motb, and this talks about Jacob's trouble in a way because you also got them foreign troops here because it speaks of the Medes, and because when the U.S. gets involved in the war in Iran, it's going to also be a lot of uprisings against that, including increasingly from MAGA that they're not going to support Trump if Trump goes to war with Iran. Trump joins in that war, which is looking increasingly like he might. But I'm gonna go into that like he might this time. Like the U.S. eventually is gonna, according to the scripture, according to prophecy, it looks like we in them days. The U.S., aka Babylon, is gonna enter into that war that they are being led into by the least of the flock, according to prophecy, Jeremiah 50, 45, and 46, KJV 16:11. But basically, I'm gonna go into that ultimate meaning of them, of being joined unto this place, and that is through the mark of the beast, motb. And let's go to Revelation 13 and 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he that had the mark, or the name of the beast or number of its name. And we know that when you break down the Greek, the word charagma that's there, all the way down to charax, grapho, it's talking about the RFID chip. When you break it down. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. And even this, for his number of a man is number 636, and he, in the Greek, is chi, stigma, CHIXI, and then stigma. And when you break down the last part, it's talking about the RFID. Well, it makes it clear, also the way you're going to be given this mark, which is through a syringe. They're going to stick it in you. And it's going to be basically, once you got it, you pretty much got it, man. They have measures in place, so basically can't take it out anyways. Everybody talking about, oh, we gonna take it out, once it's embedded in the skin, basically can't take it out. But even if you did, you took the damn mark. But even if you was able to, but they have those measures in place. But they have those ways, so make it so where you can't take it out. But basically, it's the RFID chip, and these devils, while this war situation is going on in the background, these devils are making it are basically, they're clearing the way for this new system to be rolled out. And they're clearing the way for this new system to be rolled out. This motb system, with a digital currency, digital ID. And one of the ways is that they're getting the government, really, basically they're getting more government more involved in crypto as well, setting up the surveillance system as well, Palantir, which is in Trump's big beautiful bill that the data that the government has on y'all is gonna be given, basically a Palantir and their AI system is gonna have control over that. And basically, they're setting it up that way as well. Because really what Esau wants is control. That's why Esau is pushing these, is basically setting up this motb system. And basically, that's what they're doing. And let me look that up. In fact, they talking about setting up crypto reserve, right? Yeah, March. I'm talking about something that's recent though. In March, they did set up a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the U.S. funded by forfeited Bitcoin. The reserve announces a move to enhance federal financial stability has been met with both support and skepticism, while some see it as a symbolic recognition of Bitcoin as a reserve asset. Others question its strategic benefits and potential for market manipulation, which basically, when you look at what they did with gold before, seizing the gold from the American people back in 1933s, they had a reserve, and then they kept all that gold that was seized in Fort Knox. But they doing it basically this time. What they gonna do is they creating a way for basically the government is gonna regulate, or a way for the government to regulate what goes on with crypto, which crypto is a digital form of money. Yeah, Trump's stablecoin. Stablecoin is basically it's designed to maintain a stable value of $1, making it a form of stablecoin. Is backed by short-term U.S. Treasury securities, dollar deposits, and cash equivalents. USD1 stablecoin. So this crypto shit was basically brought about as basically a Julian dialect, which is basically problem, reaction, solution, or thesis, antithesis, and then synthesis. Basically, the way that these elites push their different agendas. But hold on. Basically, yeah, it's putting digital currencies alongside gold. Hold on. Fuck. Alongside gold, foreign currencies, and other assets in the U.S. Reserve. Assets are to include crypto seized by federal agencies in criminal or civil proceedings. The government has not disclosed how much Bitcoin and which other crypto coins it holds. New data on what crypto cash the U.S. government has seized may now provide some answers. It suggests the crypto reserves will together hold more than $21 billion in cryptocurrency, Trump ordered the creation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which Trump described as a quote-unquote virtual Fort Knox for digital gold, and a separate U.S. digital asset stockpile to hold other cryptocurrencies. The stockpile will be funded with whatever crypto assets the Trump Treasury holds other than Bitcoin, leaving the stockpile's composition to be largely determined by a mixture of chance and criminal conduct. So virtual Fort Knox digital gold, right? And I was going into, what they got at Fort Knox, right? Supposedly they still have it. There's a word on these internet streets is that they don't have it anymore. We see how it ties into basically them moving us towards a digital system. Yeah, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. I'll read this part right here. Not everyone in the crypto community favors the U.S. government anointing cryptocurrency as a strategic national asset. "Quote unquote," the original spirit of crypto, Vitalik Buterin, a co-founder of Ethereum, said in a March interview with the Washington Post, "Quote unquote," is about counterbalancing power, including government and corporate power. Bitcoin, the first widely adopted cryptocurrency, was created in the Great Recession of 2007 to 2009 amid deep skepticism about traditional finance. Buterin is excited about the idea of governments embracing certain aspects of crypto technology, but the movement becoming too associated with quote unquote one particular government team or even a particular corporate team, Slack. He said could violate crypto's original mission of decentralization and openness. Basically, moving towards a synthesis. The thesis, of course, the fiat currency, which fiat goes into to make it so, which is the dollar, and the antithesis is crypto, and then synthesis, basically merging those two ideas together, is central bank digital currency. And they trying to do it by way of basically like this. That's how they trying to do it. That's gonna establish That's gonna help to establish a stable coin, which they could use that once they collapse the U.S. dollar to be new new digital currency for the U.S. Except central bank gotta know who you are, so that's where digital ID comes into play, and so nobody could basically manipulate the system, because I believe that, and the elites have been talking about a cyber attack coming, big cyber attack coming, cyber pandemic basically, without the a pandemic without the L, Klaus Schwab talked about it. Comprehensive cyber attack. Yeah. So we know that these devils is planning some something like that. But yeah. So basically the new system that they would implement after that would be the this motb system, a new digital currency that's basically this crypto stablecoin that they have the most of, or they have basically, yeah, in the crypto reserve. And because this is one way that they can bring about, they probably gonna bring about the MOTB system. There's other ways, but it looks like this what they're gonna do. A cyber attack blame on Iran or Russia, both, or China, or all three. Then after the chaos, when the system is rebooted, they have to take the internet down because of the cyber attack, and when it's rebooted, everything will be under a new system. Because it will also cause the collapse of, not only the grid being shut down, they've showed that, the collapse of the U.S. dollar. So the alternative they already have it, or they develop. See how we're just going to use the blockchain system that cryptocurrencies was using, that this cryptocurrency was using. Well, that cryptocurrencies use a blockchain system, except it's not going to be anonymous. We're going to require digital ID, so all your purchases they'll know about. They'll be able to regulate this computer money. They'll be able to regulate what it pays for. And the best way that they're going to be able to ensure that that it's you paying for the shit for yourself, or paying for shit that only you are allowed to pay for. Right? Basically, you who you say you are, you paying this shit. You buying that shit for yourself or for your family. Is by implanting the RFID chip, the motb, and it being connected to that. And also goes into let's say it's fixed, basically to fix it all. We'll have no problems with I've gone into this before with on my other channel that I used to have access to, Habamoth Hopeful Elect, I believe it's called. But don't quote me on that, I don't know for sure. What the fuck? Hold on. Oh, that crashed on me. But basically, excuse me, it's like basically through this cryptocurrency shit, they said no, the motb system and the strategic reserve, crypto reserve shit, that Trump did. And there's something else that he did more recently, but I don't know, I don't remember exactly. I'm looking for it. Hold on. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Senate passed crypto bill. Let me open this. Fuck. Opens in the background even though I wanted to open in a new tab and group. Wait, hold on. Never mind. Opening. I just didn't do it right away. But yeah, I got this article by Political. Trump calls. I'm going over all this, show you how close they get into it. But then I'm gonna go into how basically it's the ultimate form of selling out, taking the motb. Because you're basically joining yourself to these devils and the system. You're taking that digital all, like brothers be saying. And yeah, Trump calls on House GOP to quickly adopt quote unquote clean version of Senate passed crypto bill. House Republicans are weighing how much to change the Senate bill and whether to include it in a larger package of crypto legislation. President Donald Trump called on House Republicans late Wednesday to move "quote unquote" lightning fast to send Senate passed cryptocurrency legislation to his desk, dialing up pressure on GOP lawmakers in the lower chamber to adopt the measure without any changes. Trump wrote on social media site Truth Social Wednesday evening that the House should pass a "quote unquote" clean version of the Senate bill as soon as possible. This post comes as a warning shot to House Republicans, including Financial Services Chair French Hill, Republican Arkansas, who are weighing how much to change the Senate bill, whether to include it in a larger package of crypto legislation that would be sent back to the upper chamber. Get it to my desk ASAP, no delays, no add-ons, quote unquote, Trump wrote. The post comes one day after the Senate passed the crypto bill in question, which would create the first ever U.S. regulatory framework for digital tokens known as stablecoins that are pegged to the value of the dollar. Which that's what a stablecoin is. House Republicans are on board with passing stablecoin legislation. That's what it is. Correction, what I said earlier. Basically, it's a digital token that is pegged to the value of the dollar. Basically, the value is the same as a dollar. So, a stable coin that they would have the most of in the digital reserve, that's what they end up making a new digital currency. When they crash this dollar. House Republicans are on board with passing stablecoin legislation, but they may be reluctant to rubber stamp the Senate's bill, known as the Genius Act. GOP lawmakers in the lower chamber have introduced their own stablecoin legislation that is similar to the Senate passed bill, but several key differences remain. The House measure cleared the Financial Services Committee in April. The Senate just passed an incredible bill that is going to make, quote unquote, the Senate just passed an incredible bill that is going to make America the undisputed leader in digital assets. No one will do it better. It's pure genius, quote unquote, Trump wrote. Quote unquote, digital assets are the future. Our nation is going to own it. We're talking about massive investment in big innovation, quote unquote. See how they selling it? Hill was pushed for years to advance. Yeah, they're pushing it to it's really to digitize the system so they can control it better, but they pushing it as an improvement. But Hill, who has pushed for years to advance industry-friendly crypto legislation in the House, is also weighing the best way to get multiple digital assets built across the finish line this year. He has been considering packaging stablecoin legislation with a second larger measure, seen as the crown jewel of the GOP-led push to boost the crypto industry that will divvy up oversight of digital assets between market regulators. A spokesman for Hill, Brooke Nethercott, said in a statement Wednesday that the Arkansas Republican looks, quote unquote, forward to continuing collaboration with our members and the House leadership as we work toward a path forward, quote unquote. Some House Republicans fear that simply passing the Senate stablecoin bill, even if it is reconciled with the House version, would take momentum away from the push to adopt so-called market structure legislation, which impacts a bigger swath of the crypto industry, than the stablecoin measure. In the Senate, though, Republicans are eager to quickly notch a legislative win by getting their stablecoin bill to Trump's desk. The bill was the subject of months of turbulent negotiations and senators feel that a cumbersome, which is basically like large and bulky, but let me see, means difficult to handle or manage because of size, weight, or complexity. It implies something that is awkward, unwieldy, or burdensome. Excuse me. Shit. Larger crypto package would be difficult to pass through the upper chamber, where Democratic votes are needed to clear a 60 vote threshold. Senator Bill Hagerty, Republican Tennessee, the lead sponsor of the Senate stablecoin bill, said in the interview last week that his quote unquote goal is just to put a win in place for the American public and have for the president to sign before the 4th of July, quote unquote. They pushing it as a win for the people, but really to help digitize the system more, quote unquote. It's very clear to me that we have an opportunity to have a great win here for the American public right now, quote unquote. Just like Rome, what Rome did, they pushed what they was doing, always for the people. Same, hey, Babylon is Rome, come back. America's Rome, straight up, come back. Anyways, he said, hey, empires reincarnate as well. But anyways, he said, quote unquote, if the bill was to be modified to include market structure legislation, it would have to come back to the Senate for a lot of work. But basically, hold on. Maybe this will talk more about what it does. While this bill, known as the Genius Act, still needs approval from the House and President Trump's swift progress, it's already been lauded by the crypto industry as a major step towards opening the door for stablecoins to be used more widely in traditional financial services. I want to see what that shit say. Oh, it's part of what it might do. The Genius Act has a major loophole allowing big tech companies and major retailers to issue their own private currencies structured as stablecoins. One said ahead of the bill's package, quote unquote, this bill shouldn't pass without amendments preventing these risks. Let me But this is how they're gonna get people on board with more and more with digital currencies. This is how they've been getting people on board with that, so they can condition the people to accept digital currencies, because they're gonna roll one out, central bank digital currency. Let me hold on. Fuck. Get this first. Fuck. Oh. Matter of fact, I believe. Give me a second. I'll just do this. Levy posted a video on it. Heroes of Indignation 144. I'm gonna be Slovakia. But basically, I thought maybe he did a video on it, but basically, let me go back to the article. Basically, what it's gonna do. Let me stick with this. So basically, the bill establishes regulatory framework for payment in stable coins, digital assets which an issuer must redeem for a fixed value. under the bill only permitted users. Okay, basically, permitted users must. Okay, only permitted users may issue a payment stablecoin for use by U.S. persons, subject to certain exceptions and safe harbors. Permitted users must be a subsidiary of an insured depository institution, a federal qualified non-bank payment stablecoin issuer, or a state qualified payment stablecoin issuer. Permit Permitted issuers must be regulated by the appropriate federal or state regulator. Permitted issuers may choose federal or state regulation. However, state regulation is limited to those with a stablecoin issuance of 10 billion or less. I've seen if it says something specifically. But yeah, it's over here if you want to look into it. Distributed ledger. The term distributed ledger, quote unquote, means technology where data is shared across a network that creates a public digital ledger of verified transactions or information among network participants, and the data is linked using cryptography to maintain the integrity of the public ledger and execute other functions. And the term federal qualified non-bank payment stablecoin issuer, the term federal qualified non-bank payment stablecoin issuer, quote unquote, means non-bank and this entity approved by the primary federal payment stablecoin regulator pursuant to Section 5 to issue payment stablecoins. But yeah, I'll get down to the point. But if y'all want to look at it, it's right here. S Senate Bill 394, Genius Act of 2025. But I gotta get to the point and get back to how how it links, how this is the ultimate form of selling out or joining yourself to this devil and to the system that this devil controls and that he set up. Because you're gonna need, coming soon, you're gonna need to take this motb to even participate in it. So you're gonna have to be joined onto this system to even participate in it. And that's that digital O, man, that you're gonna have to take. And let me get that. Going to what a O is. I think it's spelled like that, if I'm not mistaken. Exodus 21:6. Then his master shall. Okay, hold on. I've given them a wife, and she have borne them sons or daughters. The wife and their children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. Verse 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Verse 6. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. I was talking about born. Basically, Esau's going on that. Except it's not an owl being placed in your ear, it's a mark being placed in your right hand and in your forehead. RFID chip, and then the forehead one would be the brain computer interface, which using the internet, shit like that, is being tied more and more to a BCI, brain computer interface. They're starting to push that more. But that's was Esau. That's what Esau is going on. See, it's according to the law. That's what I'm doing. But basically, if you, basically, that's what you're saying. I will not go out free. I love my master, my wife, and my children. I will not go out free. You are joining yourself to Esau Edom, who runs the system. And hey, when you look into it, we're still chattel slaves. Going into when you look into the birthright, the bill that birthright, the birth certificate, the bill that mandates that, and what it means when your parents sign it, and basically, 13th Amendment would actually, also legalize a form of slavery, because for conviction of a crime. But basically, we are still slaves. The Emancipation Proclamation, all it did was transfer ownership of, our people from individual slave owners to the elites. Basically, is what it did. But you know, this is saying I will leave the system. Love my master, my wife, and children. I will not go out free. And then you take that mark, which is that digital that Esau is gonna give you. But let me get because Yahushai said basically, if you're not willing to leave, let me get it. to give up. Let me hold on. Is not willing to forsake his family KJV. Luke 14 and 26. If a man come to me and hate not, is what it means by that. His father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yeah, and to in his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Verse 27. And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Verse 28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, when he hath sufficient to finish it? Count the cost, basically. Verse 29. Lest haply after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. Verse 30. Saying this man began to build and was not able to finish. Mm-hmm. Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with the 20,000, or else while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassage like sendeth an ambassador, and desireth conditions of peace. Verse 33. So likewise, yeah, because he ain't ready, ain't seen it. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. You gotta be willing to. You gotta be willing to leave it all behind. You gotta be willing to leave it all behind. Hey, leave the world behind, like that movie. But you gotta be willing. That movie goes into, shit hitting the fan, cyber attack like I was talking about earlier. But basically like knocking down the grid and shit. Or the internet. The internet, but we know they're coming after the grid. But basically stick to the subject. We gotta leave the world behind, Be willing to do that. Those that are not, they remain and choose to remain joined to this place. It's really they're 2/3 are through. A they that are joined unto them shall fall by the sword. And ultimately, the ultimate form of that sword is the nukes. Yeah, Isaiah 4:13. And read on down, Isaiah, this is why I say this, Isaiah 13:13. Therefore will I shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahweh of hosts in the day of his fierce anger. And the heavens represents who's ruling, and the earth who's being ruled over. But at the same time, also literally, when the nukes get dropped, they form a mushy cloud, in the sky. And, the impacts of those nukes is going to cause that great earthquake. And the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahweh of hosts and in the day of his fierce anger. Verse 14, and it shall be as the chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. Verse 15, you see that's actually has started to happen, as brothers have brought out. But verse 15, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Verse 16, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. Verse 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Verse 18, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Verse 19, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when the Most High power Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. How did he destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? With fire. Fought with fire and brimstone. Which, believe it or not, brimstone, when you look into it, is one of the ingredients in the nukes. Verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation on the warheads. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But you get the picture. Verse 21, the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and which means sad creatures, and the owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. So it's going to be uninhabited after it gets destroyed. Verse 22, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. But basically, you get the picture. It's going to be uninhabitable desert after it gets destroyed. But yeah, ultimately that sword that they that are joined unto them shall fall by ultimately is the nukes. Even though it talks about 2/3 getting run through because they're joined to this place in other ways, ultimately it's talking about our people who take that RFID chip, at these 2/3, getting thrust through with the sword, man. And also goes into that, Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 69, verse 68 and 69. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. And they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Verse 69, ultimately that's a motb, the mark of the beast. Verse 69, and they taking that, showing your devotion to this beast system, which the image of the beast, just the image of the first beast, Rome. Verse 69, they that consent unto them, because you're willing to take that, it's unconditional obedience worship. Verse 69, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot, So, and also, even before that, you take this shit, Esau's still gonna kill a lot of y'all, you're in them FEMA camps and you decide to take it, Esau still gonna get rid of a lot of y'all, You might take it and it doesn't work, There's a glitch, quote unquote, in the system. That's your judgment for taking it. But yeah, basically the ultimate form of being joined unto this place is taking that RFID chip, But that, and also I had to bring out some news on how they're pushing this RFID chip, how they're setting the stage for the motb system that the RFID chip is going to be an essential part of. But yeah, I hope this video is edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations. I mean, I shouldn't, not supposed to say double honors, because I'm not officially a part of GMS, even though I'm an affiliate, so I'm a like-minded brother. But I'm a like-minded brother pushing this truth. But hey, Shalom and salutations to the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, and as well as to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire, and Shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Hope this video was edifying to y'all. Shalom. Stay strong. Abba Babal, death to Babylon. Bala Adawamium, which means death to these Edomites. Abad Goyim, death to these other nations. Wa, Abad, and, which means and. Abad La, Nawa, death to our enemies. And Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai will bring it soon. Shalom, stay strong while Baba Ball. Yasharala got forever. I mean, Yasharala got next and forever. Hey, so Shalom, stay strong, Baba Ball. And again, Yasharala forever. Shalom.